about my pops for a second. So, we are doing what's called a Fruit Frenzy Pop, but essentially it's just a high fiber popsicle. So what I did was took some Fiber One, the brand, plain brand cereal, nothing special about it. Some people think it tastes like twigs, but I actually like it. So this is going to be the base of our fiber pop. And I don't know what she did. Oh, she did combine everything in the blender. I actually put the brand cereal in first, so you can make sure it gets really fine. You don't want any chunks in your popsicle. And that's 1.5 cups of brand cereal. I'm just going to grind this up.
Alright, while Caitlin's doing that, I'm going to crack an egg.
And this is when investing in a really good blender pays off. I did it with my Vitamix, so my Vitamix got a little bit more.
What, Vitamix was better?
Well, as I'm looking at it now, because I did the first batch with my Vitamix, it was finer than this one's getting it. But that's okay. We won't be tasting this one.
Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm seasoning up the zucchini. So I just rinsed it all out, wrung it all out, put the zucchini in, and now I'm seasoning it up with whatever spices you want. So today we're using onion powder, garlic powder, and oregano. But you can really do whatever spices you want. We are in Maryland, so if you want to throw a little bit of Old Bay in here, you could absolutely do that. I cracked 1 egg, and I'm also doing some Parmesan cheese. Again, you could do whatever kind of cheese you wanted. A harder cheese would be better to hold that together. So I'm just going to mix that up.
Okay, I'm going to add my strawberries. I have some pre-cut strawberries. About a cup. And a banana.
Do you ever use frozen fruit?
Oh yeah, so were you here for our smoothie presentation? Okay, so we love to use frozen fruit in any type of smoothie because it gives it such a nice creamy consistency. And you could really add any type of fruit. I had some frozen peaches I considered bringing, but we're just going to do the strawberries and the banana.
And if you find your bananas are starting to go a little bit bad, put them in the freezer. You can peel them up, chop them up, stick them in the freezer. They're also great, like if you just want to blend up a banana in a food processor, it makes kind of like an ice cream.
Yes.
Yes.
It's called nice cream.
Nice cream. Yeah. I call it curried bananas, but they taste very good. Okay, so I'm going to go stick these in the oven really quick, but I want to make one quick note. So like I said, I stuck the cookie sheet in the oven. So the cookie sheet I'm about to pull out is really, really hot, which is why I'm not going to bring it out here because it would burn the table and probably my hand. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray the cookie sheet down with the cooking spray. I'm going to make our little hash browns, put them on, and then I'm going to spray them again with a little bit of cooking spray and then stick them in the oven. Then I'm going to let them cook probably for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then we're going to flip them so that they get kind of crispy on both sides. So I'll be back.
I'll keep working my pops. So I'm putting in yogurt into the pops for our protein source. Just usually plain, this is low fat or non-fat Greek yogurt. You could also add in some silken tofu. That was a protein source that we talked about last time that really blends in well. You don't really taste it. I don't know if the people who were here before remember tasting the tofu in the smoothie.
I
don't really taste it.
Yeah, I don't taste anything anyway. That looks good though.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot my orange juice concentrate. The other thing that's going to go in here is orange juice concentrate, but I'll wait till Clara gets back to grab it. and blended. And then orange juice to give it nice, refreshing citrus flavor. So a little bit about us. Clara mentioned that we're dietitians here in Annapolis, Greenbelt, Columbia. Clara is our oncology dietitian, so she is really the best resource. I do a lot of diabetes, chronic kidney disease, and women's health is usually my focus. But we love to cook for people.
So let me ask you, is that like being talented or that you're dietitian, can you always cook or is that go hand? What's the deal there? Can you be a dietitian and not cook?
You can. I know a few.
Clara is, I guess you just learned from your mom. And my mom is actually a chef. So
I just was wondering about that. Like, you guys are up here doing this. Can they all do this or can they just talk about it maybe and they can't cook? So.
It's very possible that they can not cook and still get away with it.
I'm just like,
Yeah, we just both kind of like to do it, so that's where our love. I learned, like Caitlin said, from my mom and my grandma, and her mom's a chef, so I kind of just grew up doing it. But it's not a prerequisite, that's for sure.
yeah, I'm just like, wow, this is pretty good. So.
My grad school program had cooking classes as part of the. So they try to get it in there.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. I mean,
It's like motherhood. There's some mothers who cook and probably
That's a great way of thinking about it. Great way of thinking about it.
Turn this on one more time.
it's handy, yeah.
That should be good enough for show. So I'm gonna turn it over to you while I
All right.
pour this out.
So we're gonna start making our fruit spread. So this one, both of these recipes take a little bit of prep ahead time. So these are good things to, like, the good thing about them is that they can be made ahead and then you can stick them in the fridge and you have them. Same thing, if you ever, I know some of my clients will have family or friends ask, well, what can I do? What can I make? If these are things that you like or if people are, asking what they can help with, these are easy things to give them so that they can make them and then you can just stick them in your fridge or freezer. Okay, so we're gonna make the fruit spread. So we're gonna use some dried fruit today. We're gonna start with some prunes, which are very high in fiber. So we're gonna start about 2 cups of prunes, almost this whole container.
Yeah, see, I can't do that. I have to measure that out. That just freaks me out.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I made a batch for us to try, so I already know about how much 2 cups
No,
of prunes
that's
look like.
just commenting on how, like, I can't function in a kitchen like that.
Then I'm also going to use a cup of pitted dates. Just throw that in there.
Just a note, I'm putting this into ice cube molds because that's what we did for the taste test. You could also buy popsicle molds, anything. So if you want a little taste, you just need something a little bit cold, maybe a little treat. Or you can do it in a big popsicle mold. And then it's just going to go in the freezer.
All right, so I am cutting up right now some rhubarb. So rhubarb is also in season right now.
Yeah.
It's a very fibery fruit? I think it's a fruit. Yeah. It's a very fibery fruit that is do you need a good knife? Let's just put it that way.
It's like really hard celery.
It is like very hard celery. It's kind of soury. That's why it pairs really well in like a strawberry rhubarb pie. Because the strawberries are very sweet, but the rhubarb is very soury, so it kind of balances out the flavors really nicely. So I'm just going to chop this up. Ooh. Yes. Little cups for that. No, for which ones?
For taste test. Okay. I'll go grab the finished pops so we can try them.
Yeah.
Alright, so I am doing, okay. And this doesn't have to be perfect. You'll see it's like kind of turning too.
Whoa.
Okay. Alright. Now what we do with this is you want to throw all of this into this pan.
This might get a little messy, so
Right.
throw napkins too.
Okay.
They're just little pops on toothpicks. But, try one? Just try one. Just
2/3 of a cup of just plain old apple juice. This is 100% juice. You can do unsweetened or 100% juice. This one doesn't have any added sugar. So I'm just gonna pour that in there, and then I'm gonna pour in about half a cup of water as well.
Sounds like God measuring.
I'm measuring.
I feel better.
All right, so what I would do at this point is go and stick this on the stove and let it simmer for probably about 15 to 20 minutes. What you want the rhubarb to be really super, super, super soft. Almost falling apart to the point. And then what you do at that point is you take it off and you mix in about a cup of wheat bran, which will give you some more fiber, and basically then you stick it in the fridge for a couple hours. And what happens is it kind of looks like this, and now we're going to finish it. Okay, so I'm going to stick this. This is again where it pays to invest in a little bit of a good food processor. You could also do this in the blender. How are people liking the pops? Good? I'm happy to hear that. Okay, here we go. Stick this guy in.
Primarily,
And
it's what you see in the blender,
Bran cereal, banana, strawberries, orange juice,
all that.
yogurt. It's one of those moments when you can't look at the color too much.
yeah, don't look at the
It'll still taste good.
It will. It's kind of like making your own jam, but without adding, you know, one, going through the whole process of making the jam, but two, without the added sugar. That looks good to me.
And I'll use dates as well to make like my own energy bars at home.
Mhm.
Dates, nuts, anything that you want to add. I'll add cocoa powder and chocolate chips and make like a chocolate brownie
Mm-hmm.
energy bar.
It's hard to talk about energy bar. Yeah, dates are really, really high in fiber. They're a great source of quick energy.
Natural sugar.
Natural sugar.
Sweetness.
All right, I'm gonna put you in charge of letting people sample that. Who's gonna be brave? I'm gonna go check on our hash
Do
browns.
does that have a good shelf life or anything? Or
It does.
This what we just made?
Yeah,
Yeah, you can hold it, just keep it in the fridge.
for months, weeks, what? I mean,
I wouldn't do it more than weeks.
weeks or a week?
I would say a week or two.
Okay.
So maybe having the recipe.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Cut
say, I
everything
don't
in half.
know.
Put half out in the freezer.
Oh, the freezer, damn
Make
it.
one is well back, put half out in the freezer.
All right.
And the dates with one, with the other.
So can you make some of that for me? Is that?
I'm gonna go get a plate real quick.
Someday someone's gonna say, yeah, I'll do that. That's right.
Trying to make this the easiest way to sample. These are a little bit more difficult than our smoothies to pass around. I'm just gonna bring around the crackers and you can scoop out a smear of the date spread. Let's try this one. Do you want to try this?
Does anyone have any questions?
I like this.
You like that?
Oh, yeah. I love fixing furnaces.
And you could absolutely substitute figs in there for the dates if you wanted.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, well, you could
taste
Oh, those are the zucchini hash browns. And like I said, this is great. So you can put it on toast. You could put it on crackers. You could put it in oatmeal. You could put it in.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure it out.
You could put it in yogurt.
Yeah. You can add cocoa butter.
Oh my, yeah. I got a little sweet.
And honestly, I think it would make a really good dessert, in my opinion.
Yeah,
So
yeah, prunes are
there's
in there.
definitely a lot of uses for it. And don't feel restricted to the dried fruit that we use. I mean, you could use any dried fruit you have around if you want to.
Yeah.
Dried strawberries would be really good. Sorry?
Yogurt, toast, crackers.
I just used the Bob's Red Mill that they had in the natural food section or in the baking section wherever the grocery store. I know Giant keeps it in the natural food section. But yeah, I just used Bob's Red Mill. It looks kind of, if you want to see what it looks like, it looks kind of like flakes, like bran flakes almost.
I think this is the winner.
Is it a winner? I'm so glad to hear. Yes?
Yeah, yeah.
Was this the first time you made it and were the guinea pigs?
No, no, of course we've made it before, but sometimes you get a reaction. Sometimes when people are like, oh my gosh, what are you putting in this? It kind of looks funky. You're not really sure what you're gonna get, but
Sometimes we have a slightly different palate than other people.
and depending on any side effects to treatment, if you're having taste changes or whatever it is, it might not taste the same to you as it does to someone else, or so. It really depends. Any questions? We still have a few more minutes left on our zucchini programs. That was good. You liked it? It is definitely. Well, let me go check on our hash browns. I think they're almost done. And then I'll be back.
Okay. Any questions about fruits and vegetables? Anything?
What could you substitute for rhubarb in there, or not?
That's a good question. You could really substitute anything, any fruit.
Could you do strawberries?
You could do strawberries, you could do peaches,
In the
whatever it
fruit
is that you
frenzy.
like. Yeah. The rhubarb kind of gives you that tangy, so maybe
Okay, so that would
maybe
be
something tangier than apples.
apples.
Are we talking about the
lemon juice
pop or the
Mhm.
or the spread?
Replacement for rhubarb.
Oh, replacement for rhubarb.
Something tangy.
You could do a Granny Smith apple maybe.
Because that's
That might work.
squeeze a little lemon juice.
Just for a little fresh.
Absolutely. It might be a little bit. You might not have to add any extra water because apple has a little bit more water than rhubarb does. But you could absolutely do that. Absolutely do that. Yeah, and remember, so the big thing is definitely, like Caitlin said earlier, is trying to eat in season. That's where you're going to have your highest degree of phytonutrients. But trying to get a variety of colors in. So.
And eating local also, you shorten the time between picking and eating, so it'll be at its best.
Yes, absolutely.
Greater nutrients.
Yeah. And wasn't it you? Caitlin went apple picking in the fall, and you had picked some apples.
My goodness, we mistakenly had 30 pounds of apples. And they lasted months. I swear, I don't know how you can pick up an apple from the grocery store and it goes bad in a week, because our apples that we picked fresh lasted forever. That just shows you how long they're sitting.
Yeah.
And how long they
in-
travel.
Yeah. So.
In October, I go to the orchards and get the Stamen apples, which you
Yeah.
can't find down here. And they last all winter if you keep them in a nice, cool, dry place.
It amazes me.
She makes applesauce, it does all that.
I was making applesauce, apple butter, apple pie, trying to get rid of them. Just using them forever. I actually haven't tried this batch.
They're waiting for the zucchini.
Yeah, so we're making zucchini hash browns. I don't have any more handouts, but
I think.
oh yeah.
Sorry.
Apologize for being.
Oh, that's okay. Do you want to taste test our spread, our fruit spread?
There's more than one spread.
This has dates and rhubarb in it. some of those popsicles if you want to try a popsicle. It has banana, apple, strawberry, yogurt, and some bran cereal in it.
We cut some of these bigger pieces in half, and then just because it'll make it easier to grab. Can you grab a couple of the napkins, or I was going to say toothpicks? I have toothpicks or napkins. Do you need some?
Yes, actually I brought.
And you could have even, like, I could have left these a little bit even longer in the oven just to get more of the, get them a little bit crispier, but. Yeah. I'm just gonna walk around with, you can do it. Okay, I'll do it. Yeah.
We should have coordinated better on our passing out.
No.
Oh.
Like I said, they definitely could have stayed a little bit longer, but you guys will like them.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, it's okay, you still get to taste test, there's some delicious fruit spread and stuff like that.
I made these up for a low carb blog that I wrote, but they're very tasty. Pretty good alternative to potatoes.
Yeah, this is much better than that white potato junk.
You have all the recipes on the table.
Yes, so the 3 recipes are on the handout.
I like it. There's texture in there too, you know.
Like, how to find a new vegetable.
It's better than plain old potatoes throughout.
Zucchini is my favorite vegetable. It's so versatile.
Zucchini noodles are probably my favorite.
Yeah, I do that too. What do you do with your
Oh
zucchini?
my.
Really anything. I'll do half pasta noodles, half zucchini noodles. So you're still getting spaghetti and the taste and texture, but then you're getting the veggies in there with them. But I'll also just put marinara on them.
I use the quinoa noodles and then I can fry
Yeah.
them.
There's no
I'll put them in salads.
And I forget she was known as pretty good. Hey, you made it.
Well, I did, I'm a little late.
Well, that's all right. Come in and taste one of these. These are outstanding.
All right. Any other questions about anything that we've talked about today or that we've cooked today? Yes.
How do I get them to stay firm?
When we're making them to what?
I have that spiral that you stick it on and you just crank it and it comes out.
Melting down, or do you dehydrate them at that?
When you cook them, are they, what's happening?
Like if you slice them too fine, then they'll just like melt down
Mm-hmm.
and heat. So how do you keep them?
Yeah, when I cook them, I pan fry them. I stick them in a hot pan. I don't boil them. I just stick them in a hot pan, get them just soft, and then that's how I use them. Yeah.
I do something similar, or I will roast them. You can put them on it, but you can't cook them too long, or they're gonna.
They just mush.
Yeah. And I don't know, I apologize if you said this, but I also like to cut my pasta with zucchini noodles. Oh, did you? Sorry, okay. We think alike, I just wanted to make sure. Any other questions?
Have you tried that with spaghetti squash?
With the
No,
the
I haven't.
not yet. But that is a great idea. That is absolutely a great idea.
One extra step because you have to roast the spaghetti squash to get it. So, yeah.
You put it in the microwave.
It's true.
Once you cut it first, my husband didn't. My husband put the squash in the microwave without cutting it first.
Oh.
Did it blow up?
Oh, yeah.
I hope he cleaned it up.
Actually, my son-in-law was there, and he said as my daughter and I pulled up, all he could hear was my husband going, "Uh-oh."
Yeah.
He cleaned
He
it.
was trying to cook.
He's always trying to do something.
All right, well, if no one has any other questions, then we are all done for today. So we'll be back next month, and the whole presentation is on our Facebook Live, so you can watch us redo it, and the recipes are
on that sheet right there.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yep, and like I said, we'll be back next month, so please come and join us.
Do you remember what the topic is?
I can tell you the topic and the date if you guys just don't mind me pulling out my phone for 1 minute. It is going to be, I believe, on August 30th, if I'm correct. Yes, August 30th, and we are talking about sugar, friend or foe. Okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be super fun. There's going to be lots of great recipes, so we are looking forward to seeing each and every one of you back, okay?
And when is that? Right before Labor Day?
August 30th. Yep, right before
3:45.
3:45, yep.
3:45.
Thank you guys.
That was outstanding.
Or they're fighting their
Wow. Let me look at all this again. Okay, that was that. This is,
That was the pre
pre-vest.
yeah. This is, I'm gonna make a meal out of that. Now, how long, what can I, yeah, what's the shelf life on that?